civil society, good governance, transparency, and the rule of law.
Oh, yeah.
Civil society. Okay.
How to know you're dealing with something really evil.
Yeah, how do you know you're dealing with a total fascist piece of shit that works for the CIA, State Department, or NATO intelligence? Whenever you hear the word civil society, run for the hills.
Especially if it's talking about, they're trying to make it sound like it's in a grassroots organization in a third world country or something. Because you tell me who in a third world country is using phrases like civil society.
Civil society. Well, it's actually, it's picking up, because I've saw some people who actually are for civil society using it. I'm like, don't you understand?
You're helping them. You're helping them.
I'm like, no, you don't understand. So here's basically the rule. Here's how it works. Whenever you see somebody saying, "Oh yes, we're from this wealthy nation," they don't say that. We're from the United States. We're there to help you with.
We want to exploit democracy.
Yeah, we want to help you with civil society, and they usually sometimes use it with another phrase. It's good governance. So they always say, well, and what these are literally when you're some douchebag works for the State Department, right? You get like these flashcards that they give you, and this is what these people are operating on. Yeah. This is like flashcard mentality. Do they still know what flashcards are? Anybody?
I think so. Yeah.
When you were in like a kindergarten or something, they put up an apple and you're like this flash.
Yeah, it's a nice face on a really evil thing. So instead of saying fascism, they'll say good governance.
Yeah,
they're good. They're governing good. Right?
And that's the thing you have to watch out for. The biggest threat now in the future is the good people. That's the ones.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and these aren't even good intentions. These are bad intentions calling themselves good intentions, which is actually adding insult to injury, because good intentions can do enough damage. Believe me.
Yeah, the road to hell is paved with a bunch of fucking scumbags. Actually,
paving it industriously.
That are talking about good governance and rule of law, transparency, but the big one is civil society.
Even democracy itself has become one, because the Alliance for Securing Democracy, Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Democracy has become basically shorthand for we are going to censor you, shut you up, and then kill you.
Steal everything we can and
steal you
over.
Yeah. All the things we can do, we will do. We will call them democracy, and you will ask for it by name. Democracy, ask for it by name.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is that, so basically, this is coming from the playbook of the State Department when they want to destabilize your country and replace your legitimate democracy with a brutal dictatorship. They come and say, we want civil society, as if we're
barbarians, we're the uncivil ones.
Well, as if we should be talking about what civil society is.
That's what we're talking about, is that they were the uncivil.
They are infinitely more civil than us, and the mafia is more civil than the State Department.
At least the mafia has a code of honor and stuff.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
they have that whole no women and children thing. The American government focuses on the women and children. The Israeli government has those T-shirts they give their soldiers with the pregnant women with the rifle scope and says 1 shot, 2 kills. I mean, I'll deal with the mafia any day.
Yeah, of course. But here's the thing. This is coming from the playbook. So I don't even know where it's originally written down, but since they all parrot this same fucking group of terms,
I think that Gene Sharp talks about it a little bit in this whole thing.
That's right, but
I don't think it came from there. Though.
Gene Sharp is the playbook, though.
Yeah.
That is the playbook, but he might have had better intentions for it. If anybody knows what Gene Sharp is, from the Albert Einstein in MIT Institute, and he wrote this book, From Dictatorship to Democracy. And this book is actually the playbook of Otpor over the
any color revolution. It's the color revolution handbook, basically. If you can apply it to any sort of transference from a U.S. unfriendly country to a U.S. friendly country.
That's what they mean.
This is involved in some way.
Yeah. Gene Sharp wrote this book in the early 80s, and actually I think the progenitor was from, what's his name, who wrote Saul Alinsky's book.
Rules for Radicals.
Rules for Radicals. I think actually that's where a lot of that techniques of.
I think so. Yeah.
The big technique in this book, From Dictatorship to Democracy by Gene Sharp, is that you rope. Is that the way you do is you rope your dictator or whatever, or your more likely democratically elected president. You rope them into an untenable position in the social realm, not from a military standpoint. You do it, and
then you get lots of foreign media attention on them doing that unfriendly thing.
And then you have you stage a revolution, a photo op. I mean, a revolution, a photo op. You stage a photo
Tahrir
op.
Square.
Yeah, in a square. So you go to the city and you look for a square that has the word like liberty or
Liberation Square
or Freedom Square. That's the one that you want to use for your photo op. I mean, revolution, right? And then CNN is down there with the cameras. They're there a week in advance.
There can be as many cameras as there are protesters. We just got to make really sure we get good angles.
CNN had the best room overlooking Tahrir Square and also overlooking Saddam Square there, which was also called Liberation Square.
Yeah, and they had the best angle to get like that. There were a couple dozen people.
Well, they have to use a zoom because if it's a wide angle, you see there's nobody at the protest.
Where is everybody?
Zoom in.
They didn't like this guy.
Well, that was what they did during the 2004 Republican convention in New York City. What they had is they had 400,000 protesters in the streets, right? So they used, the leftist people used wide angles to show you all these people. Well, they had these pro-war rallies, these pro-Bush, pro-war rallies for 2004. Yeah, and they had something like 30 people to get that fucking 70 millimeter on there, so you just see, and that's it.
We want war. We want more war.
Yeah, don't show the edges, because if you show the edge, and that's the thing, you always got to look at what lens they're using to tell you. But in Tahrir Square, when they do these Twitter revolutions and they get everybody out for the big photo op, revolution, that's wide angle lenses, because you're going to have 500,000 people there, and then most of the people think that they're there for a revolution. And this is what happened, and this is what I love about what happened over in Tahrir Square, is they had their revolution, and then when they got rid of the dictator they didn't like and replaced it with the new dictator, and then people said, wait a second, we thought this was a revolution, now there's a dictator. And what happened was, somebody had set up these widescreen televisions in the square. So there's these people having a revolution in the square, and there's 500,000 of them, and there's large screens. It's almost out of a sci-fi movie. Large screen projection,
watching themselves
having a revolution. Okay, so then when they changed the guy and they got rid of Mubarak, and the guy who moved in, what's the name?
Morsi.
When they got Mohammed Morsi in there, suddenly, and the people said, Morsi? Suddenly, the revolution that they're watching changed. Guess what was on it? Charlie Sheen had just kicked a hotel room in with a bunch of whores, right? And now we were watching Charlie Sheen, and they were watching their revolution, and they're saying, well, "Where's our revolution?" And it was Charlie Sheen on King live on CNN going, "Yeah, well, I got too drunk. I kicked the hotel for a week." Revolution over. And that's how they unplug and plug in your fucking revolution. So these revolutions are staged events. Every single color revolution, people power, they're staged by the National Endowment of Democracy with this playbook of Gene Sharp's book, From Dictatorship to Democracy. Get that book, read it, and you'll see what it is.
And you can generally tell if you see if your revolutionary cause of choice has a fist on it.
It's a special kind of fist.
It's sort of like this. It's not quite
a normal fist. It's got like a modern kind of fist.
It's got sort of a triangular thing cut out in the middle.
Yeah.
They always use the same fist. This is the dead giveaway.
The dead giveaway. And all you have to do is look Otpor, OTPOR, Otpor Revolution. This was the one back in Bosnia-Herzegovina back in the 90s. And then look at that fist, right? And then you compare that fist to the fist that they used in Tahrir Square. And it's no way are they going to use the same. So this is the CIA going, we are having a good laugh at your fight.
And we know it. Nobody's paying attention.
Our stamp is right here, and this is ours. So we're giving you the actual secrets about that war, that revolution, whatever that was. That was a joke. But every revolution has to have someone who was raped. Of course, it's fake raping. So in the Libyan revolution, it was Iman Obadeh who ran in and said, I was just raped for 20 days. I was handcuffed.
Well, in the Libyan revolution, they're trying to say that they're raping everybody. They're trying to say that Gaddafi was giving Viagra to his soldiers so that they could go on rape rampages.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Well, that's out of the playbook of the State Department when they do these destabilizations. They
had to get the women behind them. So say, he's oppressing women. Are you kidding? women in Libya had it better than anywhere else in Africa.
Yeah,
they had it really good. Actually,
highest UN index for treatment.
Yeah,
of women.
you could actually go to jail for mistreating a woman in there. In the rest of Africa, it's like.
And now they're under the veil, thanks to Hillary Clinton and the State Department.
Under the veil, they're in the fucking slave market. I mean.
Well, that's true. Yeah. We're just going to say something about the Libyan revolution with the. Oh yeah. So she had claimed that she was raped for 20 days, and her hand was cuffed up behind her back. But Anderson Cooper didn't bother to say, well, can we see your hands? And because anyone, like any police investigator or crime scene person or something, if you tell somebody that they were bound for 20 days, do you know what your wrist looks like? I've been arrested many times. So if you've had handcuffs on your wrist for more than 15 minutes, those marks are there for days. If you've had handcuffs on for 20 days while you received rapings from 20 men, my dear, they're bloody, the skin is gone.
You're going to be a mess.
You're going to be a mess. No sign of this. She lied. Well, she was paid to do it. And the thing about it is as soon as she ran into she runs into the hotel where all the press was in Libya, right?
Convenient.
In Tripoli. Yeah. So she claiming she was just raped, and she doesn't run to a hospital, she doesn't run to her family, she runs to the hotel where all the media are. She
must have mistaken it for a police station.
Yeah, how curious. Fucking lying piece of shit. So she comes running in, this fucking total liar, right? You're victim blaming. No, we have a normally functioning 2 or more brain cells, which is all you need to rub together to make the basic analysis that she's lying. Oh, you're victim blaming. No, we have a normal critical capability. So she runs into this place and said, I was just raped. As soon as the people who were with Gaddafi's government saw what she did, they said, get a towel, get a blanket over her head, and get her the fuck out of here. Of course, that's what you do when you have a psyop.
Because it's very important to have these theatrical events, whether it's a victim, a camera-ready victim of every class, because you want to get everybody behind your revolution.
Of course.
And that's why you get all of these groups together. You get everybody out into the street to air their grievances, and then you roll them all up into one big steamroller that then you can then turn against the ruler. Even if their grievance wasn't necessarily with the ruler in the first place, it becomes one in that way. And generally there's some Pied Piper who is led to do it, like Tawakkol Carmen in Yemen, who basically her job was to get all of the little different groups that had a problem with Saleh, the leader there, and get them all to turn against him, even though their problems might not necessarily have been only tangentially related to him. She got a Nobel Prize for her honors thing. And then it was Saudi Arabia leading the show. Hello, half these people, their problem was with the Saudis. And they were very upset with what she did to them. And so, you get to the end of the revolution, and then there's the Saudis running the show. You've been hoodwinked.
Yeah, and don't forget the snipers from the rooftop, which you
shooting at both sides.
Shooting in both sides, claiming. And then the other big one is the defectors. They're highly paid. You know how cheap it is to purchase the defection of a high-level government official. They actually wrote about some of these.
Well, CNN had one of those on actually recently from Venezuela, right?
Of course, that's what it is. Every single one has, and so they can announce, high level. And what it is guess what they said? This is in the instruction book from the State Department. Guess what happens when you can't find a high-level government official to defect from? You just make it up. And so now what they do is they just made up these fictitious high-level government officials that are defecting. And then the government's sitting there going, what the fuck? I've never even heard of that guy. But they don't give you the interview when he says that, right? They just keep on saying, high-level guy defected.
That's what they found out with the one with CNN. I think the Venezuelan guy was completely fake.
Fiction.
The military is deserting Maduro by the second. And the military is like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we go off on a tangent on this show, which I guess is the nature of the show. At least there's some good information, but no, I don't want to get into Venezuela right now, because if we do...
Yeah, no, that's another show.
No, so it's the high-level defection, it's the fake rape victim. This is how you destabilize the country, right?
And generally, there should be some sort of theatrical, protest thing,
right.
too.
Then you shoot at the leader, and then when his guys shoot back, he's like, look at this guy.
They're killing protesters! They're killing unarmed protesters! Oh my God, they're killing unarmed protesters!
How dare you shoot at him?
I'm being repressed!
Yeah. You just shot at him. Of course he's going to shoot back. What the fuck, man? So you can't shoot back if you get shot at in this new State Department world. And then what else?
And to wrap it all up, you have to have some sort of color or icon of some. I mean, that's why they call them color revolutions. You wouldn't be able to like parse all of these separate things if we didn't have like a blue or a green.
Well, they've used up all the colors, so no, it's going to be like the fuchsia.
Yeah, no, they can. That's what I think they've used a couple of them more than once. I mean, haven't there been 2 orange revolutions?
Orange revolution, yeah. I mean, because obviously there's going to be a bunch of red. But no. They don't want red.
No, red is communism.
That doesn't work.
No, we can't use red. Red is right out.
Has there been any purple revolutions? That'll be fancy.
I think there
purple revolution.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe no, that just in Prince's mind.
If I was going to have a revolution, I'd want to be the purple one. No, I think so. Purple, yeah. You can't be red. I'd rather be red, but obviously that's not. No, actually, red is kind of burgundy revolution. Ooh, I like the sound of that.